Well, this blurring of lines between profit and not-for-profit is not new. It's something that's been happening over a couple of decades, but the last few years it's really accelerated. And so we've seen social ventures, profit with purpose companies being established, whose job it is to tackle SDGs, but to do it with commercial ways that produce money, that invest back in to try and go to scale. And I think that's very exciting, but it also presents some challenges for not-for-profits who are sometimes reluctant to step into a place of social ventures because they consider themselves to be not-for-profit. And I don't think those two things are contradictory. As not-for-profits, we need to think through where our role is in that space, because there's enormous potential to scale the types of solutions that not-for-profits have been working on through social venture and profit with purpose thinking. I think it's a new area, and I also think that a lot of NGOs have a very specific focus. You know, their job is to do health or education or tackle climate change, and they're training their staff by professionals who are experts in their field. This is a completely new way of thinking. Entrepreneur design thinking is not something that your traditional expert in gender has learnt about, and so they're often reluctant to go into those new areas where it's a different way of playing, and I think there's enormous opportunity because they have a lot to offer. I think risk is a really important conversation to have in any innovation conversation, and most not-for-profits these days will have a risk matrix where they analyse risk. I think for me it's important there that risk matrices and risk, analysing risk are there to help you take more risk, but to do it in a way that's managed, not to stop taking risks. And so I think from the board to the management, to the staff in not-for-profits, they need to realise that actually they are in the business of taking risks, but to manage those risks. That's the first point. Second one is around the fact that by using a design thinking or an ideation process, you're able to manage risk by doing small tests and validations that really reduce the amount of risk you're taking significantly, because if you do something small and it doesn't succeed, it's okay. But if it does succeed, you're able to step it up and take a little bit more risk and do some more things. So that's really important. Well, what we learnt in WWF was that our staff were incredibly innovative, but as an organisation, we didn't have the systems or the support to make innovation happen that was particularly beyond incremental. And so, in fact, one of the most important things we've done over the last 3 years is invest in innovation in the organisation to ensure that those staff can have the skills to do design thinking, can take some risks, but also are rewarded for testing things, sometimes succeeding, but also sometimes failing.